I'm really pleased to be here today with Minister Madders from the Department of Business and Trade to talk about the important commencement of the new consumer protection regime in the UK. Minister, could you just tell us why the commencement of the new consumer protection regime is important for government?
Well, as a government, we absolutely want to be a champion for consumers. We think consumer protection is really important. Transparency, trust and confidence for consumers, that they know when they're buying something that the price that they pay is actually the price that they will ultimately pay. So it's really important that we have these new powers in place. We want a level playing field, supporting good businesses who will treat their consumers and customers with clear prices and guidelines. And actually, that means that those customers will have confidence and they will be able to go back and do business with us again. That's good for growth in this country, and that's absolutely what we want to see. So I really want to thank the CMA for all the work that they have done to make sure that we're ready to go with these new powers.
So you mentioned the importance of growth for the UK economy. We know that that's the government's number one priority. Perhaps you could just tell us a little bit more about how you see consumer protection really supporting economic growth.
It absolutely does, because when a consumer buys something and they know that they've got a fair deal, that the price that they've actually paid is the price that they saw when they first saw the item for sale, that drives confidence. That builds trust with the particular business that they bought the goods off. It encourages other businesses to operate in a fair and consistent way. And actually, having strong consumer protections, having clear, transparent rules, really will drive consumer confidence, and that's a big part of our growth mission. I've got some questions for you, Sarah. Confident consumers making informed decisions is something that really will underpin our society and economy, and we want that sort of confidence for consumers as they go forward. So, how will the CMA use its new powers to make sure that consumers are protected, particularly the most vulnerable?
Absolutely. So, look, I think people really deserve to know that the CMA's got their back, and strong consumer protection, ultimately that puts money back in people's pockets. It means that people can spend that money across the economy, but it also helps us to really root out those poor practices from companies that are not abiding by the law. Now, with the new consumer protection regime, the real change here is that the CMA can take action directly to tackle those poor practices, to bring that conduct to an end as quickly as possible, and importantly also to enable consumers to get compensation, redress as soon as they can as well. And I think at the end of the day, there are three things that I really want consumers to feel confident about. Firstly, that they can get access to clear and accurate information that helps them shop confidently and really be confident that they're getting the best deal possible for them. Secondly, that they're not misled into buying products or services that they don't want, or they perhaps wouldn't have chosen if they'd had the full information available to them from the outset. And third, where things do go wrong, people really need to be able to exercise their legal rights quickly and effectively.
So most businesses I talk to want to do the right thing by their customers, but they do worry sometimes about being undercut by unscrupulous competitors. What will these new powers mean for them?
I think you're absolutely right. And we know, obviously, we talked about the importance of growth. We know that business confidence is really important for growth. And as you say, that sense of a level playing field, that sense that your competitors are playing by the same rules is really, really critical. So I think consumer protection has a really important role to play here, not just in protecting consumers, obviously, but also in helping that vast majority of businesses who want to do the right thing and want to know that their competitors are playing by the same rules. And that where we do see a minority of businesses who aren't abiding by the rules, aren't carrying out their business in the right way, that they're held to account. So, when I think about this in terms of how do we take forward the new regime, I think there are four key ingredients for me that will really drive business confidence in the new regime. So the first is that businesses have clear and really accessible guidance to help them understand what they need to do to comply with the law. What conduct should they be avoiding? The second is that they really do have confidence in that level playing field. And so where we do see poor conduct, we call that out and we take action to tackle it. The third is that, of course, there are going to be times when businesses are unsure, is a particular action going to breach the law? And in those circumstances, we want them to be able to engage with the CMA, to use our support, use our guidance to help them understand what action they should or shouldn't be taking. And then finally, where we do take enforcement action, we want to carry out those investigations as efficiently and proportionately as possible, and to make sure that we're really engaging with the businesses. They understand what's going on, they understand why we're concerned, and we can try to seek resolution as quickly as possible.
So we talked a little bit about some of these unscrupulous businesses. So those that don't comply with the law, what can they expect from the CMA in terms of action?
So we've actually just published our approach document, which sets out our enforcement priorities for the first year of the new regime. Now, of course, we're going to have a continued focus on encouraging and supporting compliance because that's ultimately the best thing for consumers. But where we do see problematic conduct, it's important that we take action. So we've highlighted the kind of areas that we're likely to focus on in the early days of the new regime, that really egregious, harmful conduct that's really going to damage consumer trust and confidence. So the kind of areas that we'll be focusing on would include things like aggressive sales practices that really prey on consumer vulnerability, which is so important to tackle. Clear examples of hidden fees, which we know are highly problematic for consumers. But also, for example, where businesses provide information to consumers that's just objectively false, or where contract terms are clearly unfair or imbalanced. And we're also likely to be focusing on areas where we've already put down quite a clear marker through recent or previous enforcement activity. Good examples there would be in areas like drip pricing and in time fake reviews as well.